supposed to have some games.
Hey guys, welcome back to Classic G-Body Garage. I got the hood up on the 78 Cutlass Calais 4-speed. And the reason for that is because I want to see if this engine will crank over. A little history behind this car. Recently bought this car, came from Texas, and it has been sitting since 2000. You can see by the stickers there on the window. And I believe that this engine might be froze just by the way it looks. You can tell that the hood has been open for quite some time. The overflow bottle or jug is so brittle I can basically just break it into a million pieces. So that is basically a sure sign that the hood has been up for quite some time, because that plastic got all dried out. And also, pulling this air cleaner off, that carburetor is looking awfully corroded. So you know, and the core support as well is extremely rusted. So you know, that's basically signs that the hood has been left open for quite some time. And also the little grommet that goes there for the air cleaner breather, that is exposed. You know, and I also put a wrench on the harmonic balancer there, put a ratchet on there, and the engine didn't turn over. All it did was tighten up that bolt. So you know, pulling the dipstick out, oil level's full. It's not over full like it's filled with water. And also the oil does not look like chocolate milk, and that's what oil looks like once mixed with oil, water and oil, you know, once that's mixed. So so what I wanted to do is get a positive battery cable on this thing, because if you can see down there, the positive battery cable has been cut off of the starter. So this thing, someone put top post terminals on it. GM cars had side post terminals. So that's pretty nasty looking, but it is good enough to hook up. And I do have a spare top post cable long enough to go all the way down to the starter. It even has the starter crimped end on there. So I'll go ahead and hook that up. And also, this car has a bunch of exposed wires. Here's the wire that goes to the back of the alternator, and the little bung that goes on the back of the alternator there is completely gone. So it was ripped off at some point in time, so I'm gonna have to stick another alternator on there just for the time being, just so everything's hooked up. And then someone had also tied a bunch of this crap together. So you know, it's got some wiring issues. Here's some sort of wire hanging out there, but there we go. Here's the that's supposed to go right there. Well, that's busted off. So no, it is not busted off. It's actually right there. I don't know. This thing was sitting down on the core support, but this wire is supposed to go to the relay, and they just grounded it right there. So who knows? Someone's been in here, just like all these old cars. All the wiring gets all messed up, but fortunately I parted some of these cars out, and I have that entire heater harness, and I also have another alternator and a battery chain, all that stuff. So enough rambling on. Let's see if this thing will turn over. Let me get a cable on this thing, hook up a battery, and see what happens. Okay, so I have the battery in here. I ran this positive battery cable down to the starter, and I also went ahead and fixed the wire that was exposed here, put a new eyelet on it and another alternator on it, and hooked everything up as it should. So I'm going to hook up the battery. It should be good enough to see what it does, see if it has power. So we got ground, positive. Moby, what do you think will happen? He's out here helping me. A little bit warm out, cold weather's coming. Just want to see what will happen. Let's see if we at least have power. Headlights on. It looks like that little bright beam light comes on. Let me see if we have any kind of headlights. We do have power. That tail light's not working. That one's working. That light's working. And none of those lights are working at all. But at least we do have power going inside the car. Trains. Moby, he's got to get out of here. This ignition's all jacked up. I think someone put a new tumbler in here. Steering wheel doesn't lock. So I think this is all jacked up, honestly. So nothing happens. Let me push the clutch pedal. Nothing happens. All right, so nothing's happening. So what I'll have to do is run a wire, which I plan on doing here, running this wire directly to the solenoid and jumping it right to the positive battery cable. So let me do that real quick. All right, I ran the clip lead down to the solenoid, and if you look down there, you can see that there is a wire nut on one of the starter wires. So I'm wondering if one of the wires are fried or one of the fusible links are fried, and that's why it's not working inside the car. So either way, I have the clip lead hooked up to the solenoid, and all I got to do here is ground this out, or not ground it, hook it up to the power positive, and see what happens. Yeah, starter's working. Motor's turning over. Battery's probably dead. There it goes. There it goes. All right, so at least I know. Let me unhook that. At least I know the motor turns over, so the motor's not frozen. So what I'll do is pull all the spark plugs out, shoot some oil inside the cylinders so that can sit and marinate, and we'll figure out some wiring on this car. I might push it inside the garage for the winter, or at least part of the winter, and see if I can go through it and at least get this thing cranking over. Like I said, cold weather's coming, but there you go. At least the car turns over. At least I know that motor might be in good shape. So I'm pretty happy about that, because boy, I thought that motor was frozen the way it looked underneath there, and how it would not crank over just by putting a wrench on the harmonic balancer. So, all right guys, we'll continue subscribing, leave those comments, and follow me on Facebook at Classic G-Body Garage. Until the next Classic G-Body Garage video, keep those G-Bodies rolling.